Fabiola Fernanda Maria de las Victorias Antonia Adelaida de Mora y Aragón was Queen of the Belgians as the wife of King Baudouin from their marriage in 1960 until his death in 1993. Donna Fabiola was born on the 11th of June 1928 in Madrid, Spain. At the Palacio de Zurbano, the main residence of the Marques de Casarira, she was the daughter of Don Gonzalo de Mora y Fernández y Riera y del Olmo, 4th Marques de Casarira, 2nd Count of Mora, and his wife, Donna Blanca de Aragón. Queen Fabiola was the 5th child and had 6 siblings. One of her siblings was Jaime de Mora y Aragón. She worked as a nurse in a hospital in Madrid and lived with her mother. Before her marriage, she published an album of 12 fairy tales, one of which, the Indian Water Lily, would get its own pavilion in the Efteling theme park in 1966. Queen Fabiola was fluent in French, Dutch, English, German and Italian, in addition to her native Spanish. On the 15th of December 1960, Fabiola married Baudouin, who had been king of the Belgians since the abdication of his father, Leopold III, in 1951, at the marriage ceremony in the Cathedral of St. Michael and St. Gudula. She wore a 1926 Art Deco tiara that had been a gift of the Belgian state to her husband's mother, Astrid of Sweden. Upon her marriage to Leopold III, her dress of satin and ermine was designed by the couturier Cristobal Balenciaga. Fabiola was a hospital nurse at the time of her engagement. Time magazine, in its 26th of September 1960 issue, called Donna Fabiola the Cinderella girl and described her as an attractive young woman, though no raving beauty, and the girl who could not catch a man. On the occasion of her marriage, Spanish bakers set out to honor Fabiola and created a type of bread, La Fabiola, which is still made in Palencia. The explorer Guido Darum named the Queen Fabiola Mountains a newly discovered range of Antarctic mountains in her honor in 1961. She also has several varieties of ornamental plants named after her. The royal couple had no children, as the Queen's 5 pregnancies ended in miscarriage in 1961, 1962, 1963, 1966, and 1968. She and Baudouin called the miscarriages a chance to be able to love all children. She was deeply involved with the upbringing of Prince Philip and Princess Astrid. After the death of Queen Elizabeth, in November 1965, Queen Fabiola became the honorary president of Queen Elizabeth Music Competition. Queen Fabiola attended the elimination rounds and the finals of each session. During the 1990s, the Hospital Saint-Pierre in Brussels was important in matters around AIDS. Queen Fabiola visited them in 1993 and embraced a patient. She was one of the first public figures to do this. In September 1993, she became the president of the King Baudouin Foundation, established in 1976 to mark the 25th anniversary of King Baudouin's accession. The foundation's purpose is to improving the living conditions of the population. The foundation's purpose is to help people with mental problems. During her entire life, she devoted herself to causes such as young women prostitution, human slavery, and people with disabilities. Queen Fabiola received several humanitarian awards in her lifetime and was awarded the Ceres Medal in 2001 by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization. Every year, Queen Fabiola attends the Summit on Economic Progress of Rural Women at the Palais des Nations in Geneva. The purpose of the summit is to create a movement of First Ladies to respond to the call for help from the deprived women in the Third World. Baudouin died in late July 1993 and was succeeded by his younger brother, Albert II. Fabiola moved out of the royal castle of Laeken to the more modest chateau of Stuyvenberg and reduced her public appearances so as not to overshadow her sister-in-law, Queen Paula. Admired for her devout Catholic faith and involvement in social causes, particularly those related to mental health, children's issues, and women's issues, Queen Fabiola received the 2001 Ceres Medal in recognition of her work to promote rural women in developing countries. The medal was given by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. She was also honorary president of the King Baudouin Foundation. In July 2009, the Belgian press published news of anonymous death threats she received stating she would be shot with a crossbow. She responded to the threats during Belgian National Day celebrations by waving an apple to the crowd in a reference to the William Tell folktale. Subsequent threats by a private foundation Fonds Pareos, which would have been a tax-efficient way to pass wealth to her relatives as well as to charitable causes. It was widely seen by the public as inheritance tax evasion, although, since the construction was admitted by Di Rupo to be legal, It would more precisely be a case of tax avoidance. Queen Fabiola denied. She subsequently recovered and began attending public functions the following May. Queen Fabiola had been in poor health for years, having osteoporosis, as well as having never fully recovered from a lung inflammation she had in 2009. On the evening of the 5th of December 2014, the royal palace announced that Queen Fabiola had died at the Chateau of Stuyvenberg. The federal government declared a period of national mourning from Saturday the 6th of December to Friday the 12th of December, the day when the funeral of Queen Fabiola took place at the Cathedral of St. Michael and St. Gudula in Brussels. The royal family, members of the government and the Lord Speaker received the coffin at the royal palace on the 10th of December, where it was placed in the grand antechamber, where it was decorated with flowers and attended by an honor guard of generals, members of the king's royal military household. Co.